Hello everyone, welcome to my second dev blog, and here we are going to see how I made this turret for my main player. So this turret, as you can see, is going to have a specific rotation speed, and then we are going to add a reticle which is going to follow the mouse, and also it's going to show us where the turret is currently tracking. So let's get into it. So I will start, of course, by making our scene. So in order to start this scene, what I did was I added a simple node 2D scene. I named this player turret. And to this scene, I added the following two sprite 2Ds. This sprite 2D is going to be my turret, the texture of my turret. I found it. If I turret main, all you have to do is find your PNG and just drag and drop right inside here the texture. I left almost everything the same except the offset, which I moved to the exact center that I wanted to rotate from. So in my case is this circle that the artist and I made. So actually my artist made. So I moved the offset to 5.97. Initially the offset was right here. So as you can see, it's not exactly the perfect spot. By moving it right 5.90, right here is where it's going to look perfect for the rotation of the turret. It doesn't matter whether you want to flip on this side or that doesn't really matter. The position, the rotation, you don't have to touch it. It's going to automatically adjust anyways when you're going to implement it in the game. And then I want to add a sprite 2D, another one, which is going to be the reticle. This is something I have made very quickly on Microsoft Paint, as you can clearly see. And this one is going to track the position of the turret. It doesn't matter where you're going to position it here in your scene. It does not matter as long as you just drag the texture inside, and then you can leave it as that. Of course, you can transform it, maybe change the scale as I have done here, but this really depends on the initial size that you have made. Initially, this is how big it is. Quite big, quite annoying. So 0.3% is what I needed. The position, again, does not matter. You can put it wherever you want. Next, I have added a shot spawner. So this is nothing more than a marker 2D. And this one, what does it do? It allows us to hold this position, right? This node is invisible. Technically, it's invisible. And what we can do with this is basically tell it where we want the bullets of the turret to spawn from. So we can track this position according to the rotation of the turret. And then this position is going to spawn bullets for us. It's going to be shooting all around. So basically the sprite, the scene is almost ready. The only thing we need to do is attach a script. So we go to the player and attach right here a script. You can do with this one, attach a script. Once you go to the script, you're going to notice we're not going to need too much information, right? So there are various ways that you can approach this. So the code that I have currently here is a code that is necessary because I am having a specific rotation speed. If you do not care about a rotation speed, what you can do is nothing more than using the look at function, and then here get global mouse position, and your code is complete. Anything else we can delete, and you're done. You're complete. You don't need those. You don't need any other code. If you want this turret to do nothing more than look at your mouse, that's your code. However, in my case, excuse me, you are not going to have a look at mouse position. You're going to have a specific rotation speed. Now, for this reason, you're going to need to have a variable, that is going to be called rotation speed. Assign a specific number to you that you want. The higher this number is going to be, the faster the turret is going to rotate for. And we are going to also make the onReady variable reticle, and I'm going to simply grab my reticle and drag it right here. The reason I want it to be ready is so that I immediately will activate alongside the scene. So inside now, the only thing I need is a process delta. Inside the process delta, I'm going to count the rotation of the reticle. I'm going to count where the reticle is going to be every second, where my mouse is going to be every second, and the rotation speed every second. Number one, we need to save a variable that is the mouse position. Then we are going to need to save a variable. The variable mouse position is easily set up by the get global mouse position. Then we are going to need a variable which is the target angle, which is the angle that we are aiming at. So this basic will be the mouse position minus the global position and dot angle. We are going to need another variable which is going to store the rotation that we have currently. So current angle equals the rotation. So now we have the rotation of the turret. Next, we are going to calculate the difference. Angle difference, we're going to create a variable which is the angle difference, and we are going to use the fpostmod function, target angle minus current angle plus pi, comma, 2 times pi minus pi. So this one is going to calculate the shortest direction to rotate. So depending on where our mouse is on the map compared to the turret, it will start rotating accordingly. We are going to see what this is going to do. Var rotation amount is basically the rotation speed times the delta, how fast we're going to move every second, and rotation amount is going to clamp the rotation amount minus the absolute value of the angle difference, comma, absolute value of the angle difference. Then we're going to see if the angle difference is smaller than 0, it's going to move to the left. If it's positive, it's going to move to the right. Clockwise, counterclockwise, basically, in essence. We're going to make sure that the rotation stays within a specific range. And then, and continuing, we are going to update the reticle position, where the aim point is going to be where the turret basically will be pointing if it was turning towards the mouse. So this will update the position, and it's going to show on our map where it's going to go alongside. So basically, actually, I'm going to make the speed slow, very slow, so that we can see exactly what is happening. So as you can see, this is the reticle, and now it's moving towards the mouse. So this whole piece of code, this is what it's trying to achieve. It's tracking the mouse position, so it's calculating the distance. You can see now it's not as clear exactly, right? It's not very smooth. It is quite smooth, but if I move suddenly, it kind of loses track a little bit. But it tracks the mouse position, it looks around the shortest position it's going to go, and according to where the mouse is and the current rotation of the turret, it's tracking the angle that it's going to rotate to. And here we can see it's very nicely going straight towards the mouse per delta. And this is how we can add a turret that is going to have a specific speed, and it's not just going to quickly look at the mouse position. Now, if you want to add this to your spaceship, all you have to do, so I have here my spaceship, my player, it looks like this, and I want to add it right here. In order for us to achieve this, the only thing we have to do is basically right click on our asset and press instantiate child scene. So once you instantiate child scene, you're going to put turret, or you're going to put the name of the scene that you want to click, to insert. And here it is going to appear right at the position you want it. And the only thing you have to do is actually position it to the right spot that you desire. So the only modification that I have done is finding the position that I need. And after that, if you want to see how it works out, we're going to hit survival. Click, it's firing the bullets. Now you might be wondering, you haven't showed us where you shoot the bullets. So the script of how I have set it up, the script here is actually the player. So I am going to the player and I will find the function that I have created, which is called func spawn bullet. In this one, I need the position and the direction and the damage. So here I create a new variable, which is the player bullet instantiate. The player bullet is a preloaded asset. So I preload the asset right here. And then in the function, where is it? There we go. We have var b. We are to create the instantiation of this scene, where we add it as a child to sort. This is how I have set it up. And here I call it b, where I need the global position of it, which is going to be the G position. I store it as G position. The direction, dir, B damage, the damage that I have set it up, B rotation equals with the angle. So that one will have the angle based on the rotation of the turret. So it's very important to store. Then I have the sprite node to get the sprite 2D. And I add some shaders here. So nothing to worry about this we can ignore. So we have the spawn bullet ready. So in order to call it, I have an unhandled event mouse button, and if the button is the left mouse button, what it's going to do, it's going to create a variable with a bullet direction and a vector 2.1, sorry, vector 2, 1.0, and it's going to be rotated based on the player 2 rotation. So I drag and I put player 2 and dot rotation. That one is going to be the bullet direction. So when I spawn the bullet, I will feed it the player turret sort market position, which is the marker that I have created right here. Sorry, the sort spawner, which I do it in this function. It's an onReady variable, player turret sort market position, a bit extreme, equals to the player turret here that I have, and I say get node and get the sort spawner. So I want to get this node. Now I save this variable, and when I insert it here in the spawn bullet, I want its global position. So once I have the global position, I will be able to track where the bullets are going to come out from. And then I tell it, well, I also want you to have the direction, bullet direction, which I just created, which is based on the rotation. And the bullet will be automatically aligned to this rotation. And then I put comma 6, with comma 6 being the damage. I have put the damage here manually. I'm going to amend it in the future to be a more dynamic variable where it's going to be upgraded and so on. I thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it informative, and continue having fun with Godot.